Hey, what's up there, DSLers? Today I'm going to show you how you can check and diagnose a bad wheel bearing on your vehicle, and also how to replace a bolt-on type wheel bearing and hub assembly as well. Alright, so some common symptoms of a bad wheel bearing are either loud humming or I guess howling sounds coming from your wheels when you're driving down the road. And what I do in order to be able to narrow down which wheel the noise is coming from is to first figure out whether it's coming from the passenger side or the driver's side. And I do that first by rolling down both windows on the passenger side and then rolling up both windows on the driver's side. Next, I go find a small street or an alley where I can drive fairly close to a wall or a building where it's going to help bounce off the noise and help me hear it more. And first, I'm going to drive close to it on the passenger side, and then I'm going to switch around, close up these windows, roll down the driver's side windows, and drive to close to the wall on the driver's side. And the side I hear more noise, that's the side where we have a bad wheel bearing on. Next, it's time to figure out which wheel the noise is coming from. And in order to check each wheel, we need to raise and support the car on jack stands, and to me the noise is coming more from the rear, so I'm going to start with this rear one. Next, you give your wheel a really good spin and then listen for any noises. Hopefully you guys can hear it closer up, and here's a listen from underneath. Alright, so in our case it's pretty straightforward and we can tell without a doubt that our wheel bearing is making noise, but let's say yours is not this obvious and you spin it, you can't hear any noise. So what I recommend you do next is to put your hands in the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, grab the wheel, rock it back and forth as you're rotating it from left to right, and look for any movement. Next, you put your hands on the 6 and 12 o'clock positions and do the same thing, rock it back and forth and rotate it from left to right and look for movement. And if you feel movement in both directions, then that could indicate a problem with your wheel bearing and hub assembly. But if it's only in one direction, let's say in 3 and 9 o'clock positions, then that could indicate a problem with your inner outer tie rods. Or if it's in the 6 and 12 o'clock positions, that could indicate a problem with your upper or lower ball joints. Now I've done a video on how you can check these, and I'll put a link to it right here on this side of the screen where you can check it out. Also, I'll put a link to it at the end of this video because you want to make sure you diagnose this problem properly, because you don't want to throw parts at your car but you don't need to. Now let's say there's no noise that you can hear when you spin the wheel. Also, there's no movement in any direction when you push and pull on the wheel. So if that's the case, and before moving on to the next wheel, also as a way of double checking your diagnosis, what you can do is put one hand on the coil spring and then you want to spin your wheel. And then if you have a bad wheel bearing or hub assembly, you'll feel some vibration in this coil spring. The way this works is that the uneven wear in the bad wheel bearing is going to just transfer to your strut and then to your coil spring. That coil spring is going to work as an amplifier. And if you have one of your hands on it, you're going to feel it. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, I would recommend you practice on a car that doesn't have a bad wheel bearing. That way, when you do it on a car that you suspect has a bad wheel bearing, you'll know exactly what kind of vibration you're looking for when you got your hand on the spring. By the way, I learned the tip on YouTube myself, and I can't think of the user's name off the top of my head, but this is very useful because a lot of times when you raise these wheels and the wheels are not loaded, you don't hear any noise. Also, if there's no movement, then it's going to be very hard to narrow it down whether your bad wheel bearing is in the front or the rear. But by doing this, you get around that problem. Now onto the replacement procedure. So like I said before, this car in the rear uses a bolt-on type wheel bearing and hub assembly, like I got here. Up front, it uses a press-on wheel bearing. Replacing these rear ones as an assembly is very easy and straightforward. The front ones are a bit more difficult. I don't have a video on replacing a front wheel bearing, the press-on type. I might make one just so you guys can see, but this in the back is going to be pretty straightforward. Also, a brand I could recommend you whenever you're looking to replace a wheel bearing hub assembly or just the wheel bearing is Timken. They're pretty reliable and I've never had problems with them. And also, I got this Timken wheel bearing hub assembly online at carpartkings.com. They have a lot of parts for many different makes and models. I'll put a link to their website down below in the description box, so if you're looking to buy parts for your car online, I recommend you check them out. Alright, so first thing we need to do is to remove our wheel. Next, we need to remove this brake drum. So you want to make sure you've disabled your emergency parking brakes. Also, if you're looking to learn how you can replace your brake shoes, I recommend you watch this video. I'll put a link to it right here on this side of the screen. That video, I go in detail how you can replace your brake shoes, and also how you can remove a brake drum that's stuck. But in my case, this brake drum is going to come out very easy. Alright, and this hub assembly is attached to our steering knuckle by 4 bolts, 2 of which you can see here. That guy right there, this guy right here. And then there's 2 other ones on this side. And the way you get to these bolts is basically you line up these holes on your hub with the bolt like this. Then you get the right socket with the right extension in there and then remove it. Next, you put your old part and the new part next to each other and compare them, make sure they're a match. Next, we're gonna have to replace the seal that's down here. This should be pretty easy. Just take it out. Then we'll slide on the new one. Next, you want to clean up the threads on these bolts, and then apply some blue thread locker to the threads. Next, you want to clean up the area where the old hub assembly was. Next, you get one of your bolts, put it on your extension, run it through this hole, line it up with the bolt hole in the assembly, and then you put it on there and start hand tightening it. And once you hand tighten this one, I like to skip across and do the one across next. This way you're sure that this is going to go on there flat. So after you hand tighten those 4 bolts, next it's time to torque them down to your manufacturer's torque specifications. And then after you torque them down, you just put your brake drum back on and put your wheel back on, spin the wheel, or check for movement if you had any before, make sure there's no more movement, and then you should be good to go. So with that said, hope this video helps people out there. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. You may also want to consider checking out some of my other videos that I've made. I'll put up on the screen as video links so you can just click on it. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next time.